Education, clothing, and food are fundamental pillars of support. Yet sadly, they remain inaccessible to many individuals and families in need. When work goes beyond providing material support, it instills hope, empowers individuals, and creates a sense of belonging within communities that may have otherwise felt forgotten. Hi, I'm Tej, bringing you narratives of change, of hope, and inspiration via Chizuba Talks. Today's guest is a dentist by profession and a philanthropist by passion. With a heart full of empathy and a burning desire to make a difference, she stands as a beacon of hope for underserved communities. From advocating the education sponsorship to ensuring special needs children, they need the support they deserve. To spearheading clothing drives that restore dignity to trafficking victims and orchestrating meal sponsorships that nourish bodies and souls, Rajani Priya or Priya is a force of unwavering commitment. Welcome to the podcast, Rajani.
Thank you, Tej.
Rajani, you were
And how?
born into a family of physicians, of traditional Indian medicine, Ayurveda, uh, and do you attribute your ideology of equality and sharing from growing up in the deeply rooted culture of India?
Absolutely, absolutely. I give everything that what I am doing through the family, the roots of my family, and the values that were imparted to us at a very young age. And as we are growing up, we grew with these values absorbed into our understanding. And the
Yeah.
environment around us, and the teachers who taught us not just education but the values of life. So everything all came together to what we are today.
True. And who is your target audience? As in, who do you serve, and what are the programs that you run? I know two big questions in one, but you can take your time.
So, as you rightly said, all these essential resources are very integral to one's own sustenance and growth. But are we making the present generation aware of that? Are we making them equipped to be able to self sustain and to be able to help others? These two are the questions that what we had in our minds, and we always have in our minds. And that's exactly the reason, like why through the organization we empower the youth to serve the youth. We empower the youth to serve the children and families, and we inspire the families to come forward and help everyone around. So, in one nutshell, if I have to answer your question, yes, we serve the underserved children and seniors and special need kids, but the way we are doing it is unique. The innovative ways what we have brought in connecting, bridging the children and youth to the children and youth and making them understand the world around them, and to make them an integral component of the community is how we are serving the communities.
So, when you are talking about age, very young children or even high school students and beyond.
Yes, from the age 5 to all the way to the college graduation is how we engage them, and serving the communities as well. Like we serve the children, and we also serve the seniors. Like I said, all the vulnerable sections of the community is whom we serve. So seniors, children, special need kids, medical and public health needs of the community, essential needs of the community is what our focus areas of service are.
So, how do you categorize it? Do you have a team that decides that this area or this community needs help with education, or is it on a first come, first serve basis?
No, we do have a team like who does the ground research, and we go by the demographics of the area that what we have identified as a needy community, and we also see that how many nonprofits are there serving them, and how many youth nonprofits are there serving. Are there any youth groups? Like if either we engage our own youth in the areas that we can serve directly, or we collaborate with the youth groups in the area and we empower them to be able to go and help out the communities in need. And we strategize, we draft the policies, how and what we can do, and how do we go about serving this community, and how do we identify. So we have definitely have a strategy in place about choosing the community and identifying the needs and the ways to address these needs. So
Okay.
once we have those logistics worked on, anytime, like if we are thinking about serving a community, it takes about at least 3 to 4 months for us to uh, do the ground research and then come to a design and then start the planning and then coming up with an implementation strategy.
Right. So, Rajani, could you tell us about the plan of action when somebody comes in or when you take up a case study? What exactly happens to that case?
Okay. When they come with a request, firstly, we look through the legitimacy of this request. Like, is this institution or this nonprofit is a registered one or not? And what are the demographics of this institution? Like, are they serving the communities that aligns with our mission, what we are intending to? So does it come under that? And do they meet the requirements of what we are looking for serving? And after all of this, then we also see that if they have any support or do not have any support at all, are they firstly, like, because we have to send the there are two ways of helping, right? Like sending them the funding and then sending them the human resources, like where they can be there on the location and then help them with the actual help what they would need on the ground, right? So we would gauge their need in these two terms. And there are some institutions, some non-profit groups, or some organizations like where they're truly in need. Unfortunately, they do not have the FCRA, like which is what is required, like for them to receive the foreign funding, right? So in such case, and if the need is like really genuine, after our ground research, like through our teams, like who are there locally present and who give us the report, and we go by that. So after all of that, if we see that they are in need of help, and but we cannot be helping any from here, then we strategize it through the direct help on the ground. So we send them the youth groups, like who can go read that and be there in the vicinity of their premises and understand the needs, and then address their situation with a good plan, with a period of time, like say 6 months or 1 year, and we take it like that in a way that we are setting the goal, like what is that we are trying to achieve for them, what is that we are trying to accomplish for them. I mean, not the one what we accomplish for ourselves is a satisfaction, right? Firstly, that we made a difference in someone's life, right? But is it tangible enough, like for them to have a long-lasting impact? Is it something that is going to stay there for them even after we leave the organization? So the sustenance is the most the important key aspect of what we look for. If we are doing a mail sponsorship to any shelter home, it is, I mean, we are doing it in a way that it is not only helping them then, but it should also help them later on too. So we strategize in that fund, the budget spending plan too for them. So we teach them about that as well. It's not just about giving them money, but it is about empowering them to know the ways of managing it with a good, effective measures.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the idea of not just giving something for the sake of giving and helping them tide over that period, but
Hmm.
also helping them sustain for a longer period. Now, obviously, this is going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort on your part, on the part of your team. So,
Yeah.
how do you resource these people? And of course, you need humans to understand and strategize and help out, work out a plan, and you need material. So,
Hmm.
with this is your day job is being a dentist, and you connect with all these people in your spare time, or you make
Yes.
time for these people. So,
Yes.
obviously, the people that are working with you are also having day jobs. How do you
Mm-hmm.
manage this?
Well, when I began this organization, I wasn't working as a dentist here, thankfully. So I had my free time. Although having said that, I do have family, and my primary job is as a mother. So definitely, like
So do we say, sorry to interrupt you, but do we say that only when you have free time, all these creative thoughts take root and they fertilize?
no, not definitely. But I said no. What I meant to say is that in the formative years, we need to give more time, right? So at that time, that when I was forming this organization, and when I was bringing everything together, I had a little bit of that room for me to spend time, But the creative thoughts is all purely because of the pipeline of passion, what constantly flows. If that passion is not there, it's just not possible to come with any creative thoughts. And it is very important to contain that passion, and so that it is on a long term thing. If we do not contain that well, then we get drained, or we get burnt out, and then pretty soon, like, everything is like dying down, and then you are like out of the groove. But for me, what my focus is that, like I said, how I'm thinking about organizations to be on a sustenance mode. The passion what I have should also be sustaining, and what we are imparting to the youth should also be on a long term thing. So today, if they're volunteering for an activity, tomorrow they're doing the activity, and then in the future, in the near future, they're probably designing something that's based on this experience, like what they're grooming for themselves now, you know so and the team that you mentioned, I'm really proud to say that we began probably with a handful of team members, like, say, I think 7 to 9 members. That was
That's
it when I had, yeah. That was it. And now today we have about 30 plus volunteering staff. I must say,
that is
volunteering
amazing.
staff. Yes, and these volunteering staff, like you said, majority of them have day jobs, and even if they are not in day jobs, they are full time working. I would say that they're working for their home, the
Yeah.
homemakers. So it is very demanding here. It's very demanding that you got to do everything all by yourself. You have absolutely no help. Even to seek help, you need to have that room to seek help. The time and the
Absolutely,
resources and
yes,
all that.
yes.
Unlike how it is a little bit of a luxury in India. So, with this volunteering staff, identifying their strength and identifying their passion, and placing them in the right areas, and
Correct, yeah.
utilizing their expertise in the
Skills.
right way. Yeah, yeah. The skill sets and the expertise, knowledge that what they come with, and see, everybody wants to do genuine work, Tej. And everybody is looking for that kind of a channel. It is just that they need to get that substratum to grow their passion, or to grow their the energy what they are bringing in, for it to grow, to be able to do more. Everybody is looking for that. I'm just like, providing that substratum for them. And thankfully,
Yeah.
the right like-minded people, passionate people came together. And once I placed the idea in mind, and then, this is what, like, I would want to do, everybody chipped in that, let's do this way, let's do that way, like, they're coming with their ways. And then right from the day one, I was 100% sure that I want to do it in the legitimate way, and no shortcuts.
Mm.
And because if we are taking shortcuts, then the children are taking the same
Yes,
too.
you are
We
setting a
have to
wrong
be the
example.
right
Yeah.
example, exactly. So from the step, from the point of them stepping into the organization as a member, they're observing you, they're watching you, and they're learning a lot by watching. Our children observe us too. They learn a lot by watching us. Maybe some of them are genetic traits, but a lot comes from the observation. So what we are giving them, what we are showing them, what we are imparting silently, or with the full awareness or unaware,
Yes.
either ways, I'm conscious of that all the time. So by grooming from the members to the volunteering staff, and seeking timely advice from our advisory panel, and also, like, collaborating with the right kind of partners, this was possible. This kind of, because sometimes the ground research and all that, even if they do, we might need some inputs from the partners. And because of this unique approach what we are doing, and with the genuinity in that, the partners were also very open and very accommodated to give us the right information too. Quite often,
True.
it is possible that, why should I help you? What is it in it for me? Like, if I'm helping you. But we never really came across like that, those kind of things, because I believe in symbiosis. If they are helping us, then we should also be helping their needs too. So that way, this collaboration, this partnership grows with a positive environment around.
Yeah, so
So,
beautifully put, the symbiotic relationship between partner organizations and you, and bringing
mhm,
together passionate people who really
mhm,
feel for the cause is extremely important. I'm glad you're at the cusp of that. You're at the intersection of, where you get everything and then you are able to put forth quality programs.
right.
Let's take a break to understand what Chizuba is. Everyone at some point ponders on how this beautiful life can be made more meaningful. Maybe you're a leader trying to enhance your employees' experience at your organization, or you already work for the community and seek volunteers with state of the art skills to strengthen your nonprofit. Whatever your situation, know that you can make a difference. Chizuba began with this very vision, a vision to facilitate every skill and every passion in the world in meeting a social need. Corporate volunteering has several benefits for both businesses and organizations. In parallel, experienced and enthusiastic volunteers join NGO workers, enabling them to serve the community more effectively. Chizuba offers everyone looking to add purpose and meaning to their lives a chance to connect or volunteer virtually with nonprofit organizations from over 100 countries around the world. Visit www.chizuba.net and explore opportunities to find meaning. Chizuba, your platform to do good. And now, back with our guest. So Priya, tell me, you have something called as internships, and you
Yes.
have activities and projects that you connect people,
Correct.
youth with. Could you explain a
Mhm.
little bit about that?
Yes, our internships are unpaid internships. We are right now we are offering it in the summertime. We began with the internship works in both the countries, like in US and India. Like, I would give an example. You must have heard about marrow donation, right? The bone
Marrow,
marrow
yes,
donation
bone marrow,
drives and all
yes,
that.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
right. So this is a worldwide thing, and each country has got their own organizations, but doing the same work, and they are, but not everyone is aware of that, and
Right.
uh, this one, like, this particular thing, when the internship, when we gave them this project of researching about the percentage of registries across among the South Asian community, and the
Hmm.
disparity of it, what is the need of the registry that we are looking for. This is in partnership with Be the Match that we did this, and
Okay.
the same research work, like what we asked, and I must tell you, this is done by the high schoolers with professional mentors that we provided. This was done by the high schoolers, and I'll also tell you the impact of it, like where it is going, and why do we bring these cause based internships for them. And everything
Hmm.
that what we provide to the high schoolers is all cause based. There's no fancy internships that what we give them, where they would come and say that, okay, do you do something like aeronautical engineering thing stuff and all that. So they're children,
Hmm.
they ask like that, but we derive them saying that, okay, that's a very fancy one, I would love to do that, but how about this? And we give them a little bit of a knowledge. So we make it a very professional process where they apply, the interview, and then we see the passion, and that is a very very important one for them. I mean, for us to see that they have that awareness about why they are applying for this, and why do they want to do this, and what is it they're seeking to learn through this internship project and all that. So there are different parameters that what we take into
Hmm.
consideration, and we have a panel that who does the interviews and all that, and after once they're selected, then we place them into the project, uh, like locally and also internationally, like, which is India. That's where we have our team. So we place them. So this particular one, like when we're doing it, when they were doing the South Asian community research on the South Asian community, and the stats of that, and also the socio what do you call that, the ratio of that, like the social aspects of it, like what is
Mm-hmm.
their
Mm-hmm.
understanding, and what more do we need to do, this kind of an summarizing stuff too, like they have done in that. And the same thing they have done in India as well with Datri, the same time. Some of the interns,
Okay.
like in the team, some interns, because we wanted them to understand what is the commonality of this in both the countries, and what is the
Mm-hmm.
difference, and what is the difference in the perception of the people here and over there. Is there any difference, or is it similar? And what is the global perspective of this problem? What do we have to do? Like, if we don't make them think, we don't make them get this hands-on experience and make them think, what are they going to do when they become doctors tomorrow? They would only think
Mm-hmm.
about the numbers, but not about the people, not about the problem or the solutions, right? So when
Right.
so as part of this project, they were asked to, like, there are some requisites that what they have to follow in the project, right? So the one of the requisites is they have to interview a donor who has donated, who had donated the bone marrow for
Bone
a
marrow.
patient, and
Mm-hmm.
also interview a recipient who received that. So to understand both sides of the coin. And
Right.
a kid in India, and this kid was like going for her summer vacation with her parents, and then she accommodated her time to do the project in India, and she did that. And she is a neuroscience major student in UT Austin, and
Amazing.
she continues to work for the bone marrow registry, the work
Yeah.
what she had learned at that time. And the experience that what the donor has shared with her in the interview was eye opening for her.
Okay.
An experience, something that she will never forget, you know
Very
and
true.
this
Yeah.
these are the things that what they come across when they do. At the same time, like, another project is like going out into the community and assessing the needs of the community. So this is like, if anybody is from the background of an masters in epidemiology or a public health and all that, would understand like what is community needs assessment. But a high schooler probably might not know, but we are making them learn that hands on. We are guiding them. We have mentors who are from that expertise field, and mentoring them to do how to do, what to do, and where to do, and that kind of stuff. But they go and they do it. This year they're doing it, and they're understanding about that. And so tomorrow, when they are going, often what I hear from these volunteers is that the communities where they serve, be it in India or here, the children whom they have sponsored meals, be it there or here, the experience what they're getting is shaping up their thoughts for for their own future.
Yes, very true, very true. And you are not just dealing with that one situation. Like I like that throughout you have this continuity, you have this flow that they will carry on into their lives ahead also,
Hmm.
and that impacts so much of the society, isn't it? It's one person thinking the way this neuroscientist is or neuro surgeon is doing.
Yeah.
So you are changing an entire perspective of an entire community, of an entire location also. That is just the
Correct.
beauty of this entire thing. Just amazing, wonderful. I know. My next question was actually asking you about the success and impact of your program, but you already answered that, Priya. So
Yeah.
wonderful. I'm glad that you are doing what you are doing. I'm glad that you're collaborating with the students and organizations. And there is one collaboration that you have put up on your website, which I'd like to talk about. It is the
Hmm.
Hearts Learning Center of Drishti Foundation.
Little Hearts. Little Hearts Learning Center.
Little Hearts Learning
Yes.
Center. Uh,
Yes.
is there any thing that you could share here and get
Sure.
people to understand what you
Absolutely.
are doing?
I,
Yes.
I I love talking about them. I love talking about them because of the wonderful works what they're doing through the District Foundation and also at the Little Hearts Learning Center. Mm, so when you were asking about like how do we determine the previous question, like where we were halfway through, it comes back to this again, that this boy in Little Hearts Learning Center, he is run by the funding of his grandparents' pension. He lived, I mean, the family is running on the grandparents' pension because the parents are daily wage workers. Okay.
My goodness.
And yes, and this grandparent, the granddad, uh, he probably retired as a constable or something. So you can understand like what kind of a
Yeah, not
pension
much.
he must be
Yeah.
getting. Not much, right? So in dollar sense, like if I have to say, this is like less than $1,000 per annum, less than $1,000 per annum. And this boy is such a brilliant one, like meaning if the therapy is given at the right time, because therapy is a very very key component in their growth for the
Yeah.
special need kids. And
Hmm.
the reason I'm so passionate about them is because uh, I firstly do not like to call them as special needs because differently able is also not the term that what I would like to call, because I feel that they're just like us. It's just that they think they need some time to think, or they need some time to say. That's all. It is just that small lapse, and there is a different way that these kids function. That's it. So coming back to this boy, uh, he, like I said, he is fully dependent upon the grandparents pension thing, right? So when I came to know about that, and firstly, the founders of this foundation themselves are parents to children with spectrum. This was born out of their desire to make it efficient. Why? Because they saw the hardships of for their own children, like how hard it was, like for them to get an inclusive educational space for their children. That the change what we are looking for, what we are hoping for, why can't we be the change? These both wonderful ladies, they thought about that, and they formed the Dishti Foundation, and then they came up with this Little Hearts Learning Center, which is an arm of a branch of the Dishti Foundation's the mission. And this is an institution in Chembur that I was talking about, like where they're doing the therapy and the integration of therapy and education at the global standards. And they're doing it with such a passionate heart, and in with an understanding of the limitations of the staff, most importantly, and then the children, families, and do it in a very accommodative way, that when we came to know about these children, we were ready to help the child. And I was so impressed that the institution founders, then they immediately backed our decision, saying that, hey, if you are wanting to sponsor, we will reduce the fee as well, the fee that what we could. And then they slashed the fee, because that is like, so that this boy could get the therapy. It is actually at their own expense that they're slashing the fee. It's no the some services what they took it upon them. It's nothing like what they could otherwise could have put and all that. But
Manage.
see,
Yes. Yes.
such is the response to genuine help what we are trying to do. So at their own expense they are slashing it so that we could get some donors, right? And when we came with that, and this boy, like even in the COVID time, the therapy didn't stop for him. Even
That's
in
so
the
nice.
trying and testing times of COVID, the therapy and all that continued for this boy, and the virtual means as well. So it is during this time that just before COVID hit, I guess, in the I think just a couple of months before COVID hit us, one of our members, like they traveled to Mumbai. So the way that what we have laid out in our organization is, anyone who is sponsoring, we keep the doors open between the sponsor and the beneficiary, and so that
That's
they get to
transparency.
see exactly, because we want them to understand like why we are doing this. And we never shy away from telling them that, hey, this is the percentage of the funding what we're keeping for operations.
Yeah.
We don't shy away from that. We do tell them this is what the thing is, and this is how much is going into surveys and all that. So in that sense, then there is nothing that why you have to shield it away, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
And
Yes.
when they went and they visited and they saw the boy, they were more than happy to support him a little more. They took some the way that they responded to that is completely different. And after that, when the COVID hit, then one of the internship project what we proposed was an app that can enhance their education and keep it continual even in their homes. Because a lot of the apps, educational apps for these special need kids, are with paid memberships. We said, and then we thought, and I mean, the Little Hearts director Rashmi, she gave me the detailed report of like how many apps are there and how much do they have to pay and all that. And with their support, and because we need to understand their needs as well, right? Like what kind of thing they're looking for. So the high schoolers during that internship, they designed this app called Impact Learning, and they did this, and we are offering this app for free because we want it to be available for the children. The technology, the brains, what they have, we want to put those for a good cause. So tomorrow, when these youngsters, like when they're going to be software engineers or something, a part of that will tell them that, hey, let me do something nice besides what I'm earning, you know?
You
And they
are
were
planting
probably
the
like,
seeds. Yes,
yeah,
you're planting the seeds of generosity, and generosity is a cascade effect. Like you say, when you do something, the other person feels, okay, I should also probably do it. It's not like a circle
yeah.
that comes around. That's really wonderful.
So
Great.
that
Uh-huh.
app and this support for the therapy and a storybook what the interns have designed and illustrated and written, authored. It's on Amazon Kindle too. So these are the ones that what we gave back to the institution, to the children. Our interns from here, they read the book to them. they
Oh,
they gave the, like, we got the licensure for the for this app in India as well. So they use the app for the children there, because everything was going virtual at the time, right? It's very hard to keep up with the the
yes,
needed
yes, yes.
practice for these children, like in institutions. I mean, for the special needs kids at homes. So these are the things that how we came innovative ways to help them and to keep that continued, because a lot of the institutions have shut down, but Little Hearts continue to do in every
Hmm.
possible way to keep that therapy, to keep that education, because they need that repetitive instructions for them. And if you leave them for a day or two, it's lapse,
There's a
the
gap.
lapse what you would see, yeah, the
Hmm.
lapse would only like exponentially increase. So to avoid that, they kept
Yeah,
continuing to do that. And from here, whatever the help we could do, we continue to give that, because as a virtual medium, if today you and me are talking so happily through this medium, it's all thanks to that.
yeah,
So we
absolutely.
took the best advantage of that, but for a good
True,
cause.
wonderful, wonderful. Is it one? Is it something that really, really gives you so much of joy and happiness to everybody in that circle who is giving, who is receiving, and yeah, it's just amazing. Thank you, Priya. It was wonderful talking to you. And on a last note, I have a fun question to ask you. If you had
Sure.
to have a superhero mascot, what would the special powers be to that mascot, and what would they possess to inspire children and youth?
It's interesting that you're asking me this question. Just this morning, I was playing
Uh-huh.
the Truth or Dare with my daughter, and I got a question like this in the game. And it was asking me the same question. So I would say a mascot that has the magic powers to manifest what you think. So
uh,
then,
you
so
would,
if that
yeah,
can be there, yeah.
it would
And
just speed up
then,
things.
yes.
Super.
So that's what
And
I would hope.
what would you name this mascot?
What would I name this mascot? Hmm.
Well, I'll leave you with that
It's
food
like
for thought, and you can write that back to me, and I'll put it on
sure.
the thumbnail.
I'll surely think of that. It hasn't come to me the spontaneous, but yeah, definitely.
It is wonderful.
Yeah,
Priya, it was lovely talking to you. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for all that you are doing. You are touching so many lives. You are touching lives which probably don't even know that they need help, but they are reaching out in some way or the other. I'm sure this is going to end up with some, not end up, but it will flourish into something more thriving, something more giving, and make this society a better place. You
Thank
are
you.
bridging the divide also, right? From countries. That also is a beautiful way to connect people and individuals.
If I can add something to it, like the organization name goes, the organizational name is Unite and Inspire, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
it's in short, it is you and I. It's
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. Yes. Didn't realize
So
that.
that's yeah. So I was very particular about that. I wanted that you and I, and what are the names that what we could get. And so when I started this, I shared with two other beautiful souls, and they came, they joined hands with me, and then because it was all here. I had
Yeah,
to share my thought and then tell them, like, I laid like a blueprint. I laid everything out there and then explained them, like, this is what I want to do for the youth. This is how I want to see them flourishing and I want them to grow and all that kind of thing. When we're
beautiful.
thinking about the names, this was what it was, and it is simply you and I. So if you look at the big picture, or look at the world, it's nothing but you and I.
You are absolutely, yes.
And if I'm able to make you happy and you're able to make me happy with all this giving and sharing and caring and all that, this world is going to be a beautiful one.
It is indeed, indeed. And I'm going to leave the audience with that thought. You and I can make a difference. Even if it is a small one, it will lead to this ripple effect and change the way the society works. Thank you so much for being on this podcast.
My pleasure, Tej. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share my thoughts.